Hello and welcome to another episode here on my channel. My name is Cam Small and today we have another reaction video and thought video about the Lost Ark classes series for the Mage here in NA and EU. I know 90% of you will say, I have already seen this, I have played Lost Ark already on all the other servers. Yeah, but there are still a lot of people out there who have heard about Lost Ark but who have never seen the classes, who were also not able to play the alpha, and who are not super in-depth in all the things which are happening around Lost Ark around the world, and that is completely fine. So this will be a reaction and also thought video because, well, I have played Lost Ark actually quite a bit, and I have played every class there is, and I have played the classes basically till 50. And so I can tell you a little bit about how the classes feel and for whom the classes will be. So this is not really a discussion about balance and which is like pushing the most DPS later on in the raid and something like that. Like, that's not the discussion here. The discussion is what the class does and how will the class feel for you, and is this the right class for you if you are looking for something specific. So that's what we are doing here. And I would say we are watching the video and then we talk about all of this, shall we? Because I haven't watched this yet. So let's do it. There's the summoner. Yeah, it's kind of unfortunate. They bring only 2 of the mages to the west for now. And unfortunately they decided to take out the mage I'm most curious about. And that's the Arcana. Yeah, that is unfortunately not in the west yet, which sucks quite a bit. But we will talk about that after we're done here. But I have to say, the Summoner is a very pretty looking class. Like, if you want to see a lot of effects on your screen and you want to have them as pretty as possible, the Summoner is definitely the class for you. I can guarantee you that. Very, very pretty. Doesn't have a lot of maneuverability though. Big cast. Oh, they're even showing some now of the upgraded skills. That's good. That was one of the problems they basically had with the first video, that they never showed the upgraded skill paths for some of the abilities. And now they're showing a few of them, which is good. Ah, the Bard. Truth to be told, amazing class. We will talk about that in just a second. But I hate the Bard. It is such an annoying class. The sounds are too much for me. The whole klimbim, this bing, bing, bing. It's like, it's a bit too much for me. I would love that you can, maybe you can, and I haven't never found it, but I hope that you can actually deactivate that in the sound options somehow. Because again, it's super annoying. I hate it. Because the sound is also not right. There's a lot of discord in the notes, and I don't like that at all. Looks cool. Nice! And no Arcana, or Arcana. The Arcana is basically the... Let's have a look at this. The Arcana is basically the mage class which is slinging around a lot of cards. So that class is basically the Yu-Gi-Oh! Magic player. And lots of maneuverability. Like a lot of action. Like if you want to play a mage, but you hate to stand around and just shooting your fireballs, so to speak, then the Arcana is just fantastic in this. But let's have a look at the Summoner. So the Summoner, I always found the term summoner a little bit weird. Like, it totally matches what you see here, right? They are summoning a lot of things. Spears, birds, horses, even more birds, or even like some monsters here and there. But all those summons act as a normal spell. So they act as a, like the birds, or this bird, it's like an AoE storm, a tornado you can call in. Or the horses. It's just the horses are like fire horses or electricity horses or water horses, and then they're doing like a wave damage. The same goes with the birds. So the summoner is a mix between the classical mage, but instead of using fireballs and lightning strike and the usual spells you would expect, they are summoning things. But the effect is the same. So it's more like a graphical difference to a normal mage. And you are not running around with a pet. I have seen some people not checking out the summoner because the first thing they thought was like, oh, it's like the warlock in World of Warcraft or in other MMOs, right? Where you are just summoning a pet and the pet is then fighting with you most of the time, and you were standing in the background and you were throwing your spells at the enemy. The thing with the summoner here in Lost Ark, that is not the case. Like, as I said, think about a mage, but instead of throwing your fireball, you will summon a minion who is throwing that fireball, or which will act as a fireball, and so on and so forth. That's basically what you have to think or you have to put in front of you when you see the summoner. Like, that's what the summoner is doing. It's a mage, but instead of fireball and stuff, they're using different looking spells. They're still doing the same, but they just look a little bit different. A summoner is good, like very high DPS, especially also in the end game, like one of the highest DPS classes, like because they can already do anything else. Small little note, as I said, moverability with this class it's not bad, but you're also not jumping around much. Like, there are a lot of moments where you literally stand still and you don't do much. So that's something you have to keep in mind. Yes, you can skill the summoner in a direction where you definitely have more maneuverability, but again, there are a lot of moments where you stand still. Just so you keep that in mind. Now, let's talk about the Bard, shall we? Let's have a look at the Bard. And as I said, the Bard is a fantastic class. It is considered as one of the best classes in the game because the DPS they're pushing out is pretty chunky. Do not underestimate the DPS of this class. I know some people look at this and think, oh, it's a support class, right? Yes, totally is. And we will talk about that in a second. But do not underestimate the DPS they can dish out. Like, it's kind of obscene sometimes what they can do. And on top of that, they are also fantastic support classes. They can give you a good amount of buffs. They can also heal a little bit. Keep in mind, there are no real healers in Lost Ark. That's not really what you're doing here. But they have spells which can raise the defense and the damage your group is dishing out. Plus, you can heal a little bit here and there. And you have just tons of options. Like, the strength of this class is that it is good at nearly everything. High movability, high DPS, lots of support, and it's just that combination which makes the Bard so strong. The effects are okay. Like, it isn't the most prettiest class, I believe. Well, that's just my personal opinion. But my biggest problem with the Bard is really the sound effects. And I would love that they are actually putting like an option into the sound menu where you can say deactivate Bard sounds. Because they're really bad. Like, I hate them. I played this class, and after some time I had to deactivate the sound. And unfortunately, I could only deactivate like all the sounds in the game, right? And that wasn't too fun. But the music was just going on my nerve. It just, ugh, ugh. But yeah, if you're looking for a class who is pretty good in like every situation, and you cannot really do anything wrong, and you will definitely be one of the classes people will love to have in their groups, then the Bard is definitely for you. Like, again, it's not a healer. You do damage, and you do a lot of damage, but the support you are bringing for the group is something which can really turn a fight, especially later on. Like, I have seen groups who failed boss fights because they didn't have a Bard in the group, and the moment they had a Bard in the group, things changed and they killed those boss fights. So Bards are really strong right now. Don't know if that will change at some point. I know that Smilegate had actually like some thoughts, or Tripod had some thoughts on the Bard, but for now it is what it is. So, but with that said, we are already at the end. I would have loved to talk a little bit more about the Arcana. Unfortunately, that class will not be available. As I said, it's actually the Mage class I love the most, and I'm really disappointed that it doesn't exist yet. But we will be back with the next class series, which is probably coming out at some point. And if you enjoyed this video, I would appreciate if you are on your way out to click on the like button. If you didn't like this video for whatever reason, there's a dislike button right next to it. And if you're also new to the channel, you want to see more Lost Ark videos, more Lost Ark thoughts, I would appreciate if you might consider to subscribe to the channel. It would help me a ton. And thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time. Stay safe. Bye bye.